Pioneer fans, Pioneer Varsity Field Hockey is live and on the air. We are live at Hollway Field, where it is your Pioneer Varsity Field Hockey team taking on Cranbrook. The Cranbrook Cranes in town, as Pioneer is 10-1-1 on the season. Their lone loss was the first game of the regular season, 4-2 to Skyline. Their lone draw was versus Skyline. That was back at Skyline on the 28th of September. And otherwise, they've beaten Pinckney, Novi, Saline, Huron, Dexter, Chelsea, Huron again, that time away, Grosse Pointe South, Saline away, Dexter away, and finally taking on Cranbrook. They do have a playoff game. That will be a home game at 5:30 on Friday versus Forest Hills Central. So that will be at Hollway Field. And it does look like, according to the schedule, we have a couple of games, both the opening regionals for field hockey. And it looks like we have the state quarterfinals on the 25th at 5:30 here at Hollway Field, and at 7 o'clock at Hollway Field here. So that's action on the 24th. On the 26th, things move to Dearborn, and then on the state finals, I forgot to look. That one was at... I had it a moment ago and I've lost it, but you can always take a look. It should be up at Pioneer, at pioneerathletics.net. Always remember the .net, otherwise you'll end up with the Pioneer Sporting Goods Company. But if you go search fall and Varsity Field Hockey, they have it. You always click the information button to get more about each of those games and locations. Cranbrook, the Cranes, are 10-5-2 on the season. They started off beating Sarnia 6-0, beat Grosse Pointe North 3-0, and beat Marion 1-0. They tied Novi High School 1-1. Then they beat Sacred Heart 5-0. They beat Liggett, or they lost to Liggett 2-1. They lost to Marion 2-1. They had a win versus Mercy 1-0 before that, or right after that. Then they lost to Skyline 8-0. They tied East Grand Rapids 1-1. Beat Grosse Pointe South 2-0. They lost to Father Gabriel Richard 2-0, and they lost to Dexter 7-0. They beat University of Liggett. I believe that was the Catholic League final 2-1. Then they beat Detroit Country Day 1-0, and Green Hills, their second chance versus Green Hills. They won that one 4-0. After this, they have a game versus Grosse Pointe North. That will be the playoff game. That will be at Grosse Pointe North on the 20th. So they're getting going just Thursday. Everything kicking off for Pioneer on Friday for the playoffs. So 10-1-1 versus 10-5-2. Again, but once you get out onto the field and start playing, anything can happen. As we're getting ready to go, we'll turn it over in a moment to a wonderful public address announcer here, John. But let us play a few messages from the MHSAA.
Here are 5 more good reasons for multi-sport participation. Multi-sport athletes are more coachable. They have higher athletic ceilings. They become better talent in the long run. They have higher sports IQs. Their sport skills transfer, and they are better teammates. Multi-sport participation is cross-training for life. Learn more at the MHSAA website. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
We do want to thank all the wonderful sponsors of Pioneer Field Hockey. That includes platinum sponsors Orange Theory, Line Leap, Capital Sales Company, Fleur de Lance, University of Windsor, Velocity EHS, Blue Lion, and Cliff King. Gold sponsors are Dexter Family Dentistry, Edwards and Schaefer Orthodontics, Family Hairstylist Leonard Barber, Ray Shaber Dentistry, Joe's Pizza, O&W Incorporated, Pinnacle Field Hockey, and Smoothie King. Silver sponsors includes Aspire Dental, Heidi Insurance, Holidays Restaurant, Coterie Dental, Liberty Dental, Stadium Market, and bronze sponsors includes the Ann Arbor Observer, Burns Park Orthodontist, Little Caesars at the stadium location, Transit Cycles, Washtenaw Dairy, Wirtz Family Dentistry, and York. As everyone getting set up, as the captain's meeting over across the way, right in front of the scorers table. It's like one more message from the MHSA, and then things will get kicked off here momentarily.
Here are 5 good reasons for high school multi-sport participation. Fewer overuse injuries, less opportunity for emotional burnout, exposure to different kids and coaches, exposure to different roles, and learning to compete better. Being a multi-sport participant can help a kid become a more well-rounded person. Multi-sport participation is cross-training for life. Learn more at the MHSAA website. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
Where can you find good information on all kinds of topics related to the well-being of our student athletes? Check out the health and safety page of the MHSAA website. Learn about multi-sport participation, heat and hydration, cardiovascular resources, as well as insurance benefits available for our students. It's all on the health and safety page of MHSAA.com. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association promoting the value and values of education.
The love of the game draws us to sports, as players, coaches, spectators, and officials. For officials, it's a way to stay in the game they once played, to feel the thrill of putting on the uniform, stepping out of the playing surface, hustling to make the call, and building the relationships which can only be built in sports. If you still have that love for the game, we always need new officials. Register now at MHSAA.com. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
Sportsmanship has never been more important between the lines in athletics and outside those lines in our communities. To listen, to respect, to understand, to practice common decency, to have competition without contentiousness. Sportsmanlike qualities are essential components of life itself. Let's all work together to not only be good sports, but good people. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
To tonight's game against your Ann Arbor Pioneers. Let's meet the participants. First for Cranbrook. Number 1, Jaden Kaufman. Number 2, Milani Sheff. Number 6, Kendall Pankoff. Number 8, Aiden Victor. Number 9, Sophia Baldwin. Number 11, Abby Asameni. Number 13, Pauline Mackey. Number 14, Susanna Spradlin. Number 19, Anna Timko. Number 21, Skylar Fearens. Number 22, Ariba Hassan. Number 24, Emma Brandemart. Number 27, Harper Solish. Number 28, Katie Keegan. And number 57, Julia Housey. The head coach of Cranbrook, Zubair Ahmed, assisted by Jordan Yagla. Oh yeah, now your Pioneers. Here they are. Number 2, Megan Ponce. Number 4, Lizzie Kinsey. Number 5, Teddy Colbert. Number 6, Sienna Galban. Number 7, Kate Soldan. Number 8, it's Ellie Key. Number 9, Abby Bowers. Number 10, Lily Soldan. Number 11, Emma Van Alstein. Number 13, Sophie Miranda. Number 14, it's Natalie Millman. Number 15, Margaret Wozniak. Number 16, Maren Brady. Number 17, Jessica Daly. Number 18, Caitlin Rice. Number 19, Maya Hammerman. Number 20, Megan Edwards. Number 21, Sofia Jimenez. Number 25, Grace Grabowski. Number 28, Ann McGowan. And in goal, Madeline Grand, number 33, and Sarah Huffman, number 36. The head coach of Pioneer, Jane Nixon, assisted by Katie Morris-Baye. Ladies and gentlemen, we ask that you rise now, remove your caps, for the playing of the national anthem. Thank you.
As again, we are live at Hollway Field getting ready for your Pioneer Women's Varsity Lacrosse, or Pioneer Varsity Field Hockey. We do enough sports. Field hockey team versus Cranbrook across the way. It's that first really chilly day of the season, 41 degrees out, and just because we're not used to it, it feels that much worse.
The third team
So
on the
it
field
is
today,
a
the
chilly team.
officials.
Here's the officials.
Nancy Cox. One moment, please.
As everyone getting ready to go.
Excuse me, the other official is Christine Tadajewski.
So 15 minutes up on the clock, getting ready to go here for the final regular season game. Again, Pioneer will be hosting Forest Hill Central on Friday. That is a 5:30 game. So unfortunately, we will not be able to try and go on the road to catch the final Pioneer football game. That will be at Pinckney that same evening. And then at 8 o'clock that night, we will have Michigan women's hockey as they host Indiana Tech. So big week here. Tomorrow we'll have playoff hockey, tape delay, or playoff soccer, tape delayed, as Pioneer will play Skyline over at Saline. Game time is 5 o'clock. We will have that game available about 5 minutes after the game ends, so probably around 7 o'clock we'll have that. And then if Pioneer advances, we will have the final for the regional from Saline on Thursday. So lots of action going on this week, and it starts off as that moved over Bowers. Gets it over on the near side, that over to Galban. Galban trying to make a move, that pulled away, going the other direction is Timko. Timko hits it down into the Pioneer defensive side. Keene moves it down the far sideline, that flipped over, and ascended ahead was Edwards, that pulled back by Timko. Pioneer intercepts that move, trying to get it over to Millman, that pulled back, tipped away. Good job to knock that away by Kate Sultan. Kate Sultan on that far sideline moves it back to Keene. Keene on her own defensive side flips that over. On the far wing, Edwards brings it up. And fired, and that tipped out. Excuse me, that was Brady who fired it ahead. There's going to be a restart for Cranbrook. That get that ball moved over, and looks like in the take that is going to be Fearens. Fearens has the ball set on the far sideline. Sends that forward, trying to knock it away is Millman. Millman trying to dribble it away. Millman in there trying to battle it against Brandemart. Still tipped back, now move forward down the far sideline. And picked up, rocketed the other way as Tolbert was trying to get to it. And brought back over. Trying to bring it ahead down the far sideline. Pioneer over to Millman, as that was Kate Solden over on the far wing. And fired ahead. Here comes Pioneer racing over. Tolbert brings it in. Tolbert trying to get into the circle. Tolbert gets forward. That knocked over on the far side and in.
Goal, Pioneer, Pioneer, goal.
See, there was Galba and Orr on the other side. Galban had the goal. Tolbert has the assist. Pioneer up 1-0. That at 13-10. And started back up by the Cranes. Fired ahead, knocked down right at midfield. Coming ahead with it, Millman. Millman feeds it over to Bowers. Bowers trying to get it over to Tolbert. That fired all the way down onto the far sideline by Timko. And stopped out the far sideline. Pioneer will restart, as that was swept back by Brady. And coming over, Kate Solden has it. Kate Solden over to Millman. Millman trying to move ahead. That knocked down. Fed over on the near side by Hassan. Grabbed. Kate Solden trying to feed it ahead. That pulled over. Here comes Tolbert. Tolbert coming down the near wing. Tolbert trying a centering attempt. That knocked down. Here comes Hassan. Hassan tipped, and it will be a restart for Cranbrook. Timko will bring it back to the spot. I believe that hit a foot. 12:09 left to go here in the first. 1-0 Pioneer with the lead, as it's Timko who fires it all the way down the near sideline. That pulled away from Spradlin. Spradlin trying to get it back, as that was Grice who was battling. Grice gets the restart. Grice has it on the near sideline. Grice rockets it. That tipped by Millman, but that went off of a foot. That's going to be a start again, as Fearens fires it down. Another whistle. They'll send that back over midfield. This time Millman will get the restart, as she'll start. Coming down the center of the field, fires it into the near corner, and Pioneer can't quite get to it. That'll go out the end line. They'll come out for a 16-yard hit. Victor will start things off from the 16. That knockdown, trying to pull it over is Timko. Timko coming down the near wing. That backhanded all the way down, stopped. Trying to move it over is Keene, pulled over by Sheth. Sheth had it knocked away. Now Edwards trying to pull it back. And tipped off of Spradlin. Keene has it. Keene trying to get past Spradlin, move it forward, trying to get it over to Edwards. Now here comes Millman, but a whistle. That goes the other direction. So the Cranes will get it set just at the center line on the restart. That'll be Victor. Victor sends it, but that knocked down by Millman. Millman races over the center line. Millman trying to avoid pressure, gets on the offensive end. Millman sends it into the circle, and it goes in, and that outside the circle, so no goal. 10-10 left to go. That'll come out to the 16 for a 16-yard hit for the Cranbrook. That goes out the near sideline. Grice will come over. Again, if you just want to know more proof that these wonderful athletes down on the field are a lot tougher than me, I'm up in the press box all bundled up, and they're down there in skirts running around playing their guts out. And knocked down and went off of Spradlin. Grice gets it over to Millman. Millman, center of the pitch. Millman trying to make her way in, feeds it down on the far wing. brought back over. Trying to make it in. That fire by Grabowski. Knocked down. That off as the keeper knocks it away for Cranbrook. Didn't get the number. That's either, it should be Housey. Didn't see Clemmer announced earlier. Keene trying to battle a pair of Cranbrook players. Now Grice trying to tip it away. That fire down by Timko. That'll be a restart for Pioneer as Kate Solden over to Millman. Millman moves it back on the far side of the pitch. Bringing it ahead is Brady. Brady moves it over to Grabowski. Grabowski is dispossessed over by Hassan. That will go out the far sideline. Pioneer 1-0 here in the first. 8:40 left to go. Here in the first. As that launched all the way down off of Keene's stick, coming the other direction. Hassan with it. Hassan has it knocked away by Brady, but gets it back, fires it into the circle. That goes out the end line. So Cranbrook will start 25 yards out from the end line. That moved back over and fired. Tipped by Millman. Millman trying to get it away from Brandimart. Millman moves it ahead, trying to get it over to Kinsey. And pulled down on the far wing. Victor trying to move it back. Still a battle on that far sideline. As Kinsey trying to get past. That knocked right back. Racing ahead with it is Cranbrook. Kate Solden tips that back. Now knocked the other direction. Grabowski trying to get through traffic. Grabowski trying to move it ahead to Kinsey. That pulled back and fired all the way deep into the far corner. That will go out. Sideline, that will be Pioneer on the restart. 7:25 left to go here on a cloudy day. First real glimpses of sun kind of poking back behind, but it's all gray clouds in front of us. And like I said, a cool, crisp day. And moved back. You can definitely feel the fall weather as brought up by Kate Solden. Kate Solden over to Grabowski. Grabowski trying to avoid pressure by a pair of Cranbrook players. Now Kinsey trying to feed it ahead. That knocked down by Victor. Now coming up the other direction. Here comes Pioneer racing ahead. Getting in is Millman. Millman in the circle. Millman spins around. Millman with a shot. That went off onto the near side. Tolbert has it there, or excuse me, Galvin has it there. Out in front to Tolbert. Tolbert spinning with it, but a whistle blown. That is going to come back out to the 16 for a 16-yard free hit. Timko blasted down the near wing, gets it ahead to Yosemite. Grice has it on the near sideline. Grice moves all the way over the center line. Grabbed as Brady trying a sweep it. Wouldn't settle down for her. Coming the other direction over there is Fearns. Fearns knocked away. Here comes Brady. Brady with it. Brady moves to the center of the field. Gets it ahead to Edwards. Edwards on the near wing. Edwards gets it over the center line. Edwards trying to get through some traffic. That will go out. It will be a restart for Pioneer. Edwards has it right on the sideline, just inside of midfield. Edwards gets it back to Grice. Grice over to Keene. Keene back in her own defensive zone. Keene moves it over on the far side. That brought ahead by Brady. Brady gets it back to Grabowski. Back to Brady. Brady over to Grabowski. Grabowski moves ahead. That got knocked down. Trying to fire it the other direction. Pulled away as Victor was back over there. Then to the center of the pitch. Pulled over by Edwards. Edwards over to Grice. Grice on the near wing. Grice trying to feed that ahead. Here comes Galvin. Galvin trying to snake it past a couple Cranbrook players racing over to get it is Hassan. As that will be over to Cranbrook. They get the restart. 4:45 left to go here in the first. 1-0. Pioneer with the lead. Cranbrook rockets it down on the far side of the pitch. Trying to turn around is Brady. Brady battling. That goes out as Sheth had it on the far sideline. Brought back over Launched ahead as Kate Solden trying to get it over to Edwards. And out the far sideline.
Miranda, number 13, now in for Pioneer.
Miranda comes in for Pioneer. 4:15 left to go here in the first. Pioneer on the far sideline, trying to feed it ahead. That knocked down Kate Solden, has it, Kate Solden. Trying to get it ahead. Tolbert tipped it, back over. Grabowski plays it, coming ahead over to Millman. Millman grabs it into the circle, that tipped away onto the near side as Hassan trying to move it. And it's sent by Brandemart. Out, but Millman comes into the circle. Millman with a shot, that out in front, trying to fire it in. Pioneer battling. And brought back as Jimenez was in there trying to get it. I believe that was Kinsey on the far side who was firing it away, but just couldn't get it past the keeper. Excellent job by Aussie. Brought right back in by Pioneer. Over on the far side, Kinsey, she has it knocked away. Going to rocket it down was Timko, and Timko lost her footing. Brought back. She looks like she's all right. That flipped over. Trying to get to it was Galvin. It will be going back out to the 16 for Cranbrook. I guess they won't put it all the way out to the 16. They'll rocket it back. Millman tips that back over. Jimenez trying to pull that away. Moved back. Trying to get it past Chef over on the far wing. Now Jimenez trying to flip that over as Pankoff had it. Restart for Cranbrook as that's sent all the way down by Brandemart. Over midfield. Swept back over to Keene. Keene over on the far wing, spinning with it. Keene trying to get away from Esameni. And will go out the far sideline. Pioneer will restart as I believe that's Brady. Spinning with it. Brady moves ahead to Kinsey right on that far sideline. Knocked out by Keegan. Pioneer fires it ahead. Here comes Millman down the far sideline. Millman trying to get past into the circle. Millman with that shot. Knocked down out in front. Another shot and a score. That's Tolbert who puts it in.
Pioneer goal.
At 1:47.
Teddy Tolbert.
Pioneer goes up 2-0. 1:47 left to go here in the first. And flip back over to Brandemart. Brandemart moving it to Timko. Timko has it dispossessed. Here comes Kinsey. Kinsey trying to flip that past the defender. Kinsey racing over, trying to get away from Keegan. And moved all the way back over to Millman. Millman now rockets it past. That tipped. And that will be back over to 16-yard hit for Cranbrook. 1 minute, 12 seconds left to go here in the first. Over on the far sideline, Brady chases it, but that goes out right in front of the scorer's bench. Brady will roll it back over. Kate Solden over to Grabowski. That knocked away. Coming the other direction is Esameni. Knocked down. Now here comes McGowan trying to get to it. Sent ahead to Baldwin. Baldwin feeds it over to Esameni. Esameni trying to get over. Keene trying to knock that down. That ball went off of Brady. Now fired into the circle. Pulled back over by Kate Solden. That goes Pioneer's way. 24 seconds left to go. Grabowski trying to move it over as that was the deepest Cranbrook had made. Their attack go. Pulled back over by Timko. Timko trying to start the rush for Cranbrook the other direction. Millman pulls it away. Millman trying to feed it ahead to Grabowski. Grabowski on the near sideline, but that goes out. Timko will restart it the other direction. Here comes Baldwin, and that will do it.
End of the first period.
So that will be the end of the first.
Cranbrook.
Let us play a message from the MHSAA. We do want to thank all the wonderful sponsors of Pioneer Field Hockey. That includes Platinum sponsor Orange Theory, Line Leap, Capital Sales Company, Fleur de Lance, University of Windsor, Velocity, EHS, Blue Lion, and Cliff King. Gold sponsors includes Dexter Family Dentistry, Edwards and Schaefer Orthodontist, Family Hairstylist Leonard Barber, Reshaper Dentistry, Joe's Pizza, O&W Incorporated, Pinnacle Field Hockey, and Smoothie King. Silver sponsors include Inspire Dental, Heidi Casarelis Insurance, Holidays Restaurant, Cotree Dental, Liberty Dental, and Stadium Market. Bronze sponsors includes Ann Arbor Observer, Brands Park Orthodontics, Little Caesars Pizza on Stadium, Sick Transit Cycles, Washtenaw Dairy, Wurtzel Family Dentistry, and York.
Where can you find good information on all kinds of topics related to the well-being of our student athletes? Check out the health and safety page of the MHSAA website. Learn about multi-sport participation, heat and hydration, cardiovascular resources, as well as insurance benefits available for our students. It's all on the health and safety page of MHSAA.com. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
At the end of the first half, it is Pioneer 2 and Cranbrook nothing. So by the way, that is Huffman in goal for Pioneer. On the left-hand side, let's see if I can actually, I believe that is Housey, because I didn't see the other goalkeeper announced. Yeah, that is Housey, the keeper for Cranbrook. Pioneer continues to go left to right here in the second quarter. Millman to start things off with a hit back. And rocketed forward, tipped by Bowers. That comes all the way down on the near wing. Hassan trying to get to it, but that goes out of bounds. She'll just let go out of bounds, and that'll be a restart here for Cranbrook as Victor get things going. Victor feeds it ahead. That tip by Bowers. Trying to move it. Victor gets it down on the near sideline as Grabowski trying to move that ahead. That will be off of Pioneer. Timko has it on the near sideline. Timko brings it ahead. That deflected. Here comes Grabowski. Grabowski trying to get it over to Bowers. Bowers, that off of her foot. And we'll go back over to Cranbrook. Knocked down, coming the other direction. That trying to move it ahead is Kate Solden. Kate Solden down on the near sideline. Kate Solden gets it over to Millman. Millman moves it ahead. Tolbert trying to get into the circle. Tolbert moves her way in. Tolbert coming down on the far wing. Sends it all the way through the circle. And that comes out onto the near wing. And Kof with it. That will go back over. Cranbrook with the restart. Timko brings it ahead. Timko trying to move it over to Victor. That's stolen away by Bowers. Bowers centering attempt got knocked down and went off of a player. Here comes Grabowski. Grabowski moving back in along the end line. Her cross got knocked down. Now trying to bash it down was Brady. Brady moves over to the near side. That flipped out the near sideline. That will be Pioneer. As Brady will come back, get that set. Now Brady over. Grabowski trying to get it back to Brady. That went off of her foot. That will be over to Cranbrook. Swept ahead by Timko. Knocked down. Now pulling ahead is Esameni. Esameni as Keene knock it away. Keene fires it, trying to get it to Grabowski. Pulled off by Pankow. Now Millman racing over, trying to get it away from Victor. Millman sweeps it over onto the far sideline. That brought ahead by Jimenez. Jimenez into the far corner. Tolbert trying to get it. Tolbert couldn't quite hold it in. Valiant attempts. Still had just a bit too much momentum. That will come out to the 16 for Cranbrook. 12:22 left to go here in the second. 2-0 Pioneer with the lead. As that's Victor again, who fires that down the pitch. Keene racing for it. As Keene trying to get away from Messameni. On that far sideline, that tipped right off of Chef. And knocked down by Timko. Edwards over to Kate Solden. Kate Solden trying to get it to Edwards. That goes out the far sideline. Brandemart has it on that far sideline. Brandemart brings it ahead. Brandemart works through traffic. That tip back over to Jimenez. Jimenez makes a good move. Jimenez moves it. Here comes Bowers. Bowers racing down the pitch. It got knocked down, trying to get it. Bowers racing over. It moved over to Grabowski right at the blockades. Grabowski feeds it back to Kate Solden. Kate Solden trying to avoid pressure. Kate Solden makes a good move. It's it ahead to Millman on the near sideline, but that whistled away, and that will go over Cranbrook's way. As that knocked off of a foot, back over to Pioneer. Grabowski has it. Right on the near sideline. Grabowski ahead, tipped by Bowers, trying to move it over to Millman. Knocked down by Hassan. Hassan on the near side, poked away by Grabowski, but rolls that over to Pankow. Kate Solden trolls that back from Brandemart over to Grabowski on the near sideline. Working it down. Grabowski dribbles down, trying to get across. Grabowski into the circle. That fired over, knocked down. Out in front, Bowers trying to work her way through, still in the circle. Bowers tips it, trying to tip it back to Brady. Now that moved over to Grabowski, but a whistle, and that will go over to Cranbrook. As Victor got a stick on that in a crucial situation on that cross. Timko. Solid hit down. That pulled down by Kate Solden. No, Kate Solden trying to get it over to Tolbert on the far side. Tolbert trying to work her way through traffic. And that is going to end up with a corner. As Kate Solden indeed take the corner. She'll have the insert. As all of the players get set for the corner. And move back out. Millman has it, top of the circle. Millman with the blast. That went off of Housey. Now over on the far side, tipped down the far side, and that will go out the end line. That will go into a 16-yard hit. Or no, Pioneer will restart at the 25, excuse me. That goes over to Cranbrook. That rocketed past by Fearens, but that will result in a whistle. Wozniak has to, or excuse me, Miranda has to chase it all the way back. Brady over to Kate Solden. Kate Solden trying to tip through traffic. That knocked the other direction. Bringing it ahead. Challenging. Here comes Pankow. Knocked down. Coming over. Kate Solden switches the direction. Kate Solden trying to get away from Pankow. That went off of Pankow's foot. That will be another restart for Pioneer. Oh no, they'll give that to Cranbrook. That knocked down. Here comes Pioneer ahead, trying to get it to Millman. That race past the sand. Millman trying to get it. Millman coming down into the circle. Millman over. Millman has that slip off of her stick, grabbing it. Tolbert trying to move it into the middle. Now that's sent all the way back out into the middle area as Brady tried to get it. Now here comes Kate Solden. Kate Solden fires that ahead, knocked down. Ball loose, pulled back over by Kate Solden. Kate Solden over onto the near wing for Grabowski. Grabowski trying to work her way towards the circle. Grabowski down on the near wing just above the end line. Grabowski trying to pull it in. Now switches directions. And there's a cross, and that ended up going up and over the goal. 7:10 left to go here in the second. 2-0 Pioneer with the lead. That is going to head back out to the 25 for Brady. Brady brings it ahead. Brady sweeps it over to Grabowski. Grabowski makes a good move heading down the near wing. Grabowski trying to get into the circle. Grabowski feeds it back over. Trying to get it over to Brady, and if that went off of a leg. We'll go back to the 16. For things to get started off for Cranbrook, and they'll go right out the near sideline. Miranda will chase it down. 6:24 left to go here before halftime. 2-0 Pioneer with the lead. And pull back over. Kate Solden trying to get it. Kate Solden moves it ahead. Brady sweeps it. Brady trying to get it over that knockdown. Trying to feed that ahead was Victor. Victor will have things right in the midfield area. That's sent back, pulling over onto the near wing. Here comes Pioneer. Tipped away from Bowers, but Grabowski gets it back to Bowers on the near sideline. Bowers trying to get through traffic away from Hassan. Bowers puts it in the center of the circle and move back on the far side. Kicked back away. And sent back to Brady on the far wing. Brady trying to fire that just goes wide to the far side. Out the end line, that will be Cranbrook. Starts again from the 16. 5:10 left to go. That knocked down by Kinsey. Pioneer up 2-0. Grabowski has it. Grabowski trying to work her way. Now moves it on the near side, and trying to keep it in was Brady. Couldn't quite settle down. Victor will have it on the near sideline.
Number 28, and the foul in for Ann Arbor.
Victor at a head knocked down. Now Grabowski trying to pull that away from Timko. Sent back towards midfield, but that intercepted by Kate Sold. Now Jimenez trying to come down the far wing with it. Jimenez cuts towards the center of the pitch. Jimenez moves that over to Grabowski. Grabowski trying to avoid a stick right in the way. That flipped over to Brady. Brady gets it ahead. Here comes Bowers. Bowers trying to race between two defenders. And tipped and out the end line. That should be Pioneer. With the restart, that comes over onto the near wing. Grabowski with it. Grabowski pulls it down. Grabowski heads towards the end line. Now moves it back. Grabowski looking for a cross. That knocked away. Heading the other direction is Brandemart. Brady gets it back, but Pioneer will have to restart. Brady gets it back over. Here comes Millman. Millman over to Kate Solden. Kate Solden avoids some traffic. Kate Solden gets it on the near wing. That over as Grabowski trying to get it in, but that out the near side. Pioneer will get it back going from the 25. Millman has it there. 3:15 left to go. Here before halftime, that shot over, but it went from too far. Pioneer unable to tip it to put it in. So that will stay 2-0. Ball comes out to the 16 for Victor. Victor rifles it away. Trying to get it is Millman. Millman and Timko. Got tied up. That will move it back to Millman. Millman slides it over to Grabowski coming down the near wing. Grabowski pulled back over. As Bowers was trying to get that moved over, but that will go back over to Cranbrook. 2 minutes, 25 seconds left to go. Here before halftime, Pioneer with the 2-0 lead. Knocked down by Bowers. Bowers And bounced up and coming back. And tipped and out the near sideline. And roll back over. Timko again will start things. Timko. Knocked down by Bowers, fed ahead. Now Grabowski getting it to Millman. Millman has it poked away but gets it right back. Millman moves it right at center. Kate Solden rolls it back to Keene. Keene trying to avoid pressure. Keene puts it on the far wing, and that just out the far sideline. That will be Cranbrook on the restart. 1:45 left to go here on a chilly, cloudy fall day at Hollway Field. That comes all the way back to Keene. Keene moves it ahead. And we'll go out the far sideline. Cranbrook again. 1 minute, 25 seconds left to go before halftime. Now that lifted up, bouncing ball. Millman has it. Millman trying to get that away. Millman rolls that as here comes Brady. Brady feeds it ahead to Grabowski. That off of her stick as Hassan has it. Now ahead to Bowers. Bowers trying to avoid pressure, trying to get away from Victor. Victor knocks it back. That will be Pioneer. 55 seconds left to go. Back over on the near sideline. Pulled ahead by Fearens. All the way back. Keene has it on the near sideline, trying to avoid pressure coming from Pankoff. Chipped up high. That will be a whistle. 30 seconds left to go. Brandemark gets that, but that moved over onto the near sideline. That will be Cranbrook ball, but they have 20 seconds left before halftime. As Timko ahead. Pulled back over by Bowers. Bowers trying to get it past Timko. Timko and flipped over. And will be a restart for Pioneer with 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 second, and that is half. At the
Pioneer 2, Cranbrook Kingswood.
At the end of the second, it is 2-0. Pioneer with the lead over Cranbrook. Again, we want to thank all those wonderful sponsors of Pioneer Field Hockey. That includes platinum sponsors Orange Theory, Line Leap, Capital Sales Company, Fleur de Lance, University of Windsor, Velocity EHS, Blue Lion, and Cliff Keen. Gold sponsors includes Dexter Family Dentistry, Edwards and Schaefer Orthodontics, Family Hairstylist, Leonard Barber, Grease Shaper Dentistry, Joe's Pizza, O&W Incorporated, Pinnacle Field Hockey, and Smoothie King. We'll do the silver and brown sponsors when we come back.
Here are 5 more good reasons for multi-sport participation. Multi-sport athletes are more coachable. They have higher athletic ceilings. They become better talent in the long run. They have higher sports IQs. Their sport skills transfer, and they are better teammates. Multi-sport participation is cross-training for life. Learn more at the MHSAA website. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics. Here are 5 good reasons for high school multi-sport participation. Fewer overuse injuries, less opportunity for emotional burnout, exposure to different kids and coaches, exposure to different roles, and learning to compete better. Being a multi-sport participant can help a kid become a more well-rounded person. Multi-sport participation is cross-training for life. Learn more at the MHSAA website. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
Where can you find good information on all kinds of topics related to the well-being of our student athletes? Check out the health and safety page of the MHSAA website. Learn about multi-sport participation, heat and hydration, cardiovascular resources, as well as insurance benefits available for our students. It's all on the health and safety page of MHSAA.com. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
The love of the game draws us to sports, as players, coaches, spectators, and officials. For officials, it's a way to stay in the game they once played, to feel the thrill of putting on the uniform, stepping out of the playing surface, hustling to make the call, and building the relationships which can only be built in sports. If you still have that love for the game, we always need new officials. Register now at MHSAA.com. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
Sportsmanship has never been more important between the lines in athletics and outside those lines in our communities. To listen, to respect, to understand, to practice common decency, to have competition without contentiousness. Sportsmanlike qualities are essential components of life itself. Let's all work together to not only be good sports, but good people. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics. Have we gotten to the point where at some high school game that an official has finally had enough from coaches, players, and adults, pulls off the whistle, and offers it to you? Let's hope not. There's no way you could do a better job. It's on everyone to promote good sportsmanship. So before you blurt something out about that next close call, consider this. Without the officials, nobody wins. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
Nearly 2,000 of the state's top student athletes will be recognized for excelling academically and in school activities through the MHSAA's Scholar Athlete Award, underwritten by Farm Bureau Insurance. The applicants will be in the running for a total of 32 $1,000 college scholarships. Application materials are available exclusively online through the MHSAA website. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
Let's go over the silver sponsors for Pioneer Field Hockey. That includes Inspire Dental, Heidi Casarelis Insurance, Holidays Restaurant, Coatry Dental, Liberty Dental, Stadium Market. Bronze sponsors includes Ann Arbor Observer, Burns Park Orthodontics, Little Caesars Pizza, the Stadium location, SICK, Transit Cycles, Washtenaw Dairy, and Wurzel Family Dentistry, as well as York. Field hockey, unfortunately, is not a MHSAA sport, but what that does mean is we can play the playoffs without having to worry about tape delay or any major fees to be able to play it. So we will have the game on Friday from here at Hollway Field, as Pioneer will be starting their playoff push versus Forest Hills Central. It should be a 5:30 game here from Pioneer. Tomorrow, we do have MHSAA playoffs. That is men's soccer playoffs, as Pioneer open up being Belleville. Now they will play over at Saline, as that will be Pioneer versus Skyline, 5 o'clock tomorrow. Our broadcast will be delayed until after the game because that's the broadcast license we could afford. But 5 minutes after the game, probably around 7 o'clock, that game will go live if you can't make your way over to Saline. Knock back over. Moved ahead as Edwards over to Millman. Millman fires it, trying to get to Bowers. Bowers coming over. Bowers into the circle. That knocked away. It was a good job to knock it away by Keegan. Cranbrook feeding ahead. Pioneer with the 2-0 lead here in the third, as that swept ahead over to Spradlin. Spradlin on the far side of the pitch, trying to knock it down. Keene trying to get it over to Grabowski. That went out the far sideline. That should be Pioneer's ball, and it is. Grabowski feeds it down the far wing. Tipped out right into Dexter's backpacks over there. Grabowski moves it back. Grice right at midfield. Grice trying to avoid pressure coming. As that comes in, as Chef has it. Chef trying to make a move, get past the Pioneer players. And will be a restart brought back over by Brandemart. Brandemart to restart for Cranbrook. Brandemart sweeps it over onto the far side for Fearens. Fearens and pulled away over by Grabowski. Grabowski chases it back into the far corner of the Pioneer zone, trying to get away from Timko. Gets it ahead to Keene. Keene rolls it over. That grab by Bowers. Bowers as it poked by Victor, but able to get it all the way down. Here comes Pioneer racing ahead with it. As moving it is Tolbert. Tolbert dribbling all the way down the far side, trying to get it away from Hassan. Hassan knocked down That will be brought back over. That is going to be a corner for Pioneer. Infraction happened in the circle. That is going to be Kate Solden taking the corner. So Kate Solden on the insert. As Kate Solden sweeps that to Millman, top of the circle. Millman puts it in, and that just to the near side. As that is going to come all the way out to the 25 for Pioneer. Millman moves it over. Grabowski trying to get through traffic to Tolberg. Back to Grabowski. That touched a leg. That will go over. From the 16. Cranbrook puts it all the way down. That out the far sideline. Now Grice will have it over there. 12 minutes left to go. Some really dark clouds up above us. Knockdown. Keene has it. Keene coming over midfield. Keene trying to work her way past a couple defenders. Knocked down. Trying to pull it over was Victor. Back over. Edwards trying to chip it away. That moved back over by Kinsey to Edwards. That's the back, and now that will be a restart for Brandemart. Brandemart knocks that ahead. Knocked down by Edwards, now pulled over. Sending it ahead is Kate Solden, but that pulled down. Here comes Brandemart the other direction. Brandemart trying to make it past a trio of Pioneer players, but Keene moves it over to Edwards. That is going to be, again, a restart over to Cranbrook as Millman now gets it over on the far wing, trying to move it ahead to Tolbert. Tolbert trying to avoid pressure. Tolbert trying to sweep it over to avoid Hassan. Tolbert. Flip that back on a restart. Grabowski over just on the far sideline. Grabowski puts it into the far corner. Pioneer not able to get to it. All the way back to the concrete, back behind the walkway. As Victor has it for the restart on the far side. That tipped over on the far sideline. Grabowski trying to get to it. Grabowski will set it up. 10:23 left to go here in the third. Pioneer up 2-0. Grabowski trying to make it past traffic, trying to get around Spradlin. That is going to go back over to Cranbrook. Bringing it ahead, that was Timko firing it down. And it's going to be brought back on the far sideline, just in front of the Dexter bench. Cranbrook. That was Brandemart over there. Swept ahead by Pioneer. Now moving down on that bar wing. Tolbert gets it over to Bowers. Bowers trying to make her way past to Sand. Bowers. As that is going to be a corner for Pioneer. As it looks like it's going to be Kate Solden on the corner for Pioneer. Kate Solden on the insert. Kate Solden, tip back. Grice racing over. Grice moves it over to Brady. Brady trying to get it through traffic. Brady quick on the restart over into the far corner, and it slips out the end line. Tolbert trying to hold it in, but just not able to as that leapt over her stick. 8:35 left to go here in the third on a cold, wet, blustery day. And knocked down over on the far wing. Grabowski trying to get it over to Tolbert. Tolbert looking for a cross as it poked back over.
Asamani now in for the Cranes, number 11.
Massimani back in. Back to a corner for Pioneer. Kate Solden again on the corner.
Kate Solden.
Kate Solden gets it on the insert. As the Cranbrook players get their protective gear on. Fed, Millman, top of the circle, Millman, rocket shot and a score! Natalie Millman puts it in here in the third.
Goal goes to Natalie Millman with the shot. The assist to Kate Solden.
Kate Solden gets an assist that at 7:37 Pioneer goal. They make that 3-0 Pioneer. Chef has it set right between the blockades. It's that going with the hit back now, moving ahead. Grabowski over Millman, sends it on the far wing. Edwards over, here comes Tolbert. Tolbert coming down the far sideline, trying to get away from Timko. Tolbert spins with it into the circle and tipped back. That is going to be another corner for Pioneer.
Another corner for Pioneer.
As Kate Solden heads over to take the corner.
Kate Solden with the ball.
She'll have it on that far side of the goal. Ready for the insert. And out, Tolbert with a shot, knocked down by Bowers, and that went off of her body, so that will go the other way to Cranbrook as Victor brings it out to the 16 on the restart. 6:28 left to go here in the third. Pioneer up 3-0 as coming down on the far wing is Grabowski. Grabowski trying to get that past Pankoff. Grabowski restarts. Moves it ahead and tipped away from Tolbert, but that again is going to be a Pioneer restart. Grabowski grabs it off of the fence and brings it back on that far sideline. Grab Kate Solden, trying to avoid pressure by a pair of players. Now Pioneer, Kate Solden quickly restarts, knocked down. Battle for it as Brandemart moved it back. That deflected off of Millman's shoulder. All the way back over. Grice tips it. And that picked up, knocked away. Good job by Keene. Keene exceedingly solid on the defensive side as always. And pulled back by Brandemart. Brandemart moves it ahead. And grabbed back. Now Kate Solden heads back into her defensive territory to try and grab that. Knocked down by Assameni. Assameni. And tip back over. Now Kate Solden ahead to Millman. Millman feeds that through. Here comes Pioneer. Over center is Bowers. Bowers as that chipped away by Timko. Timko rockets it all the way down, but that will go out the near sideline. Pioneer's ball. 4:44 left to go here in the third. 3-0 Pioneer with the lead. As Brady ahead. Edwards has that chip back, but Brady trying to move it around. Brady trying to get past a pair of Cranbrook players, is playing it ahead as Essameni. That's going to be a corner. So Cranbrook to take the corner. First corner for them of the contest. So we'll see who actually goes to take the corner, and that is going to be Mackey on the corner.
Pauline Mackey with the ball.
She'll take the she'll insert on the far side of the goal. Mackey moves it back to Timko. Timko's shot knocked down by Kate Solden. Kate Solden trying to move it over on the far side. Timko lifts it up, and that knocked out. As Grand in goal, by the way, now for Pioneer, as it was Huffman who started things out. Grand came out at halftime. That ball's going to come back to 25 for Cranbrook. They'll roll it back down the far sideline, and that'll end up spilling out. Pankoff couldn't quite keep it in and deflected out. As Grice on that far sideline. Back over to Kate Solden. Ball wouldn't settle down. I guess it would not settle down as it stayed on the pitch. Kate Solden trying to knock that away. And into the circle. Keene again getting it out of harm's way. Knocked down, still loose. And that's going to turn out to be a corner.
Another corner.
As Cranbrook again, another corner. 2:25 and counting out here in the third. 3-0 Pioneer with the lead. Cranbrook with some pressure here.
Pauline Mackey once again will inbound.
Mackey moves it over for the insert. Mackey gets it. Timko, top of the circle, and oof, that lifted up. And thankfully, Brady was wearing some facial gears. That hit up high on Brady. And it's going to be a quick restart for Kate Solden. Kate Solden, again, that ball wouldn't settle down for her. She sweeps it over onto the far wing for Grice. Grice trying to tip that away. That goes out the sideline. 1 minute, 40 seconds left to go here in the third. Pioneer up 3-0, but Cranbrook with some sustained pressure on Pioneer now, keeping it down on Pioneer's offensive side. As that back into the corner, trying to move it back. Grice trying to work her way through. She goes down in the splits, but pops up easily. Kate Solden working over. Gets that back to Grabowski. Grabowski flips that ahead. That tipped out the far sideline. That went off Cranbrook. Pioneer to continue. 1 minute and 5 seconds left to go here before halftime. The ball over center. Move back, Millman brings it down that far sideline. Millman sweeps it ahead as that goes just out of Grabowski's reach out the far sideline. 50 seconds left to go here in the third. As that rocket blast pulled over and went off a Pioneer. So that on the restart, Brandon Mart feeds it down, and ball moved over as Keene is down on the turf. Now Keene fires it ahead. That knocked down. Coming right back in with it, Brandemart. She has it. Kate Solden separates her from the ball. Now Grabowski, that is going to be over on the far wing. Bowers, 7 seconds left to go. Now it's Grabowski who knocks it ahead. 1 second, and that will do it for the third. Pioneer has the lead, 3-0 going into the third. Let's play a couple of messages from the MHSAA. We appreciate you watching, supporting these teams wherever you are at. We are very, very grateful for your support of these wonderful athletes.
Here are 5 more good reasons for multi-sport participation. Multi-sport athletes are more coachable. They have higher athletic ceilings. They become better talent in the long run. They have higher sports IQs. Their sport skills transfer, and they are better teammates. Multi-sport participation is cross-training for life. Learn more at the MHSAA website. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics. Here are 5 good reasons for high school multi-sport participation. Fewer overuse injuries, less opportunity for emotional burnout, exposure to different kids and coaches, exposure to different roles, and learning to compete better. Being a multi-sport participant can help a kid become a more well-rounded person. Multi-sport participation is cross-training for life. Learn more at the MHSAA website. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
Where can you find good information on all kinds of topics related to the well-being of our student athletes? Check out the health and safety page of the MHSAA website. Learn about multi-sport participation, heat and hydration, cardiovascular resources, as well as insurance benefits available for our students. It's all on the health and safety page of MHSAA.com. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
15 minutes up on the clock as we are getting ready to go to start off the fourth. Assamani has it back over. And grab, swept ahead, and just off of Fearon's stick over on the far wing. Pull back, trying to feed it through. Here's Pioneer. And Kate Solden over as Daly was trying to knock it away. That ahead. Here comes Millman. Millman dribbles over center. That tipped away. Trying to get to it was Jimenez. Now brought back by Victor. Victor over to Brandemart and pulled away by Brady. Brady moves it all the way down. Knocked down by Timko. Timko trying to start the Cranbrook rush the other direction. And lifted back over. Here comes Keene. Keene is that tipped and out. Cranbrook grab that and restart as they race over. Timko looks like she's going to grab that ball as that got caught in Pioneer's backpacks and gear over on that far sideline. Trying to get it in, pulled down. Here comes Millman. Millman will be playing for Michigan next year. Michigan field hockey gets that ahead, that knocked down. Pulled back over, racing Brady to get away from Brandemart. Brandemart moves it ahead. As that pulled back over, knocked down. Brandemart chases as that goes out the far sideline. 13:25 left to go here in the fourth. 3-0 Pioneer with the lead. Brandemart gets that all the way down. Keene stops it on the far sideline. Keene in a battle over there with Essameni. Stopped by Kinsey. Kinsey starts the rush down that far wing. Kinsey ahead, trying to work her way through as Grabowski. Grabowski and Victor have been battling all game long. It's been a good contest to watch on that sideline. Brought back over. Swept back by Brady, but a whistle. Brady ahead. And get it past Toussaint. Brady with trying to get a center. Trying to get a crossover there, but that knocked down. Victor restarted going the other direction. Victor on the restart. Puts it down that far sideline. Daly trying to get it away from Essameni. Daly moves it over, loose. It will go back Pioneer. Brady has it on that far sideline now. Brady sweep hits it down, and that will go out the far sideline. 11:45 left to go. Pioneer rolls it back. Brady will have it on that far sideline for Pioneer. Brady brings it in. Brady again sweeps it into the far corner. Trying to work her way over is Grabowski. That ends up going out the end line. That will come out. Gets set right on the 16 for Cranbrook. Moved ahead. Brady intercepts over to Millman. Millman trying to get that passed over to Jimenez. Jimenez, center of the pitch. Jimenez. And to move it past a couple players, chipped and moved over by Keegan. In shot, that moved over, trying to knock it away. Cranbrook with it. Jimenez comes back. Jimenez makes her way into the circle. And pulled back over by Victor. Victor has also been very, very good on the defensive side. Keene coming over on the near sideline. Keene trying to spring it back, avoid pressure, trying to get it over to Kate Solden. That now blasted all the way down into the Pioneer defensive side. Daly with it there. Daly feeds it over on the far sideline and trying to reach over to get that. Was Pioneer now. Kate Solden will restart. As Kate Solden trying to get past Esameni. And tipped over. Knocked down. Esameni. Ahead to Brandemart. Brandemart gets past King. Brandemart down with the cross that goes out before it can get to the goal. Pioneer will get the restart. 9:42 left to go here in the fourth. Move over on the near side. That tipped ahead, but gets it back over to Jimenez. Jimenez racing down the near wing. Jimenez moves it back to Edwards. Back over to Jimenez on the give and go. Jimenez gets it over. Now racing ahead. Here comes Pioneer as Hammerman trying to get to it. Pulled back over by Timko. Timko rockets that down, and that will go out the near sideline. 9 minutes, 10 seconds left to go. Here in the fourth, Pioneer up 3-0. Final regular season game before both teams start the playoff push. Cranbrook starts on Thursday, Pioneer on Friday. 5:30, so both teams would love to go into the playoffs with a win. Brandemart has it, tipped away. Kate Solden with a beautiful steal. Kate Solden now works her way over onto the near wing. Feeds that ahead, tipped over by Hammerman, over to Kinsey. Kinsey puts it over by the circle, now moved back. As that back over by Hassan. As Baldwin had it on the near sideline, but that will be Pioneer on the restart. Edwards over to Jimenez. Jimenez and taken away by Brandemart. Brandemart, that knocked down by Kate Solden. Kate Solden moves that over onto the near wing, but a whistle before that.
Now in for
Kate
Cranbrook,
Solden.
number 2, Milani Chef.
Chef comes back in for Cranbrook. Here comes Millman down on the near wing. Millman has that knocked away. And that fired over by Keegan. Swept all the way back. Pulled down by Kate Solden. Kate Solden spins with it. Now brings it back towards her body. Feeds it all the way down onto the far wing. Over for Daly. Daly trying to avoid pressure coming from number 26, who I don't have on my roster. 7:30 left to go here in the fourth. 3-0. Pioneer with it. Now Cranbrook moves it back. Victor will take that. Just inside of midfield. Victor all the way back, and that is going to go out the end line. Keene goes over to grab it. 7 minutes left to go here in the fourth. Pioneer up 3-0. Kate Solden with it at the 16. Kate Solden sweeps it down onto the far wing. Brady moves it ahead. Now that brought back over by Grabowski. Grabowski, she has it knocked away. She was dispossessed by Ference. Now back the other direction. Pioneer, Millman moves it all the way down, trying to get to it. It's Fons. And out the far sideline. Cranbrook, Victor has it on the far sideline. Victor lifts it past. That knocked down by Millman. Millman trying to get past a trio of players. Millman now into the circle. Millman over onto the near wing. Shot that one off a defender and in. As
Goal.
I believe that was Fons who put it in.
Megan Fons gets the goal.
So Fawns puts it in from Millman. That at 6:06. Pioneer makes it 4-0 with just a few ticks over 6 minutes left to go. Pioneer looking to ride this win into the playoffs.
27 now in for Cranbrook.
Sawich in for Cranbrook. Knocked down. Cranbrook feeds it ahead. Brandemart gets it over. Now Grabowski coming down on that far wing.
Miranda
Grabowski
in for Pioneer, number
trying to get
13.
it over. Miranda in for Pioneer. Is that all the way back? Timko has it on the far sideline. Timko trying to shift it past the trail of Pioneer players. Timko rolls it back. Cranbrook. Brandemart with the restart. It's actually 2 degrees warmer than the beginning of the day. It was 41 at the beginning of the game. It's 43 now, although the asking the players, I'm sure they can't tell. That brought back down. Victor has it. Victor comes to the center of the pitch and to move it over. Millman sweeps it all the way ahead. Gets that back over as that's moved all the way down by McGowan. Now trying to move it over. That ball over to Van Alstyne. And it's sent ahead by Cranbrook. Now coming over, here comes Chef. Is that knocked away? That'll go all the way out the near sideline. That is going to stay Cranbrook ball as 4:40 left to go. Brandemart has it on the near sideline. Brandemart rolls that back over to Baldwin. Baldwin has that ball taken away as Jimenez trying to work on the near sideline. Timko puts it into the circle, but Keene gets it back over to Jimenez. Jimenez blasts it down on the near sideline. Now Van Alstyne with it. That is going to go back over. Cranbrook with it, knocked down. Here comes Pioneer with it, making a good move. Racing ahead with it is Millman. Millman trying to get it back. That swept down by Salish. Salish puts it on the far wing. That loose over on the near side. Coming ahead with it is Fearens. Fearens has it taken away by Jimenez. Jimenez gets it over to Van Alstyne. Van Alstyne had it. And back. Pioneer to restart. 3:30 left to go. Jimenez. The sweep hit all the way back, trying to get it to Van Alstyne, and that just out the end line. As that will come back out to the 16. Baldwin with it there onto the near wing, holding it, or trying to hold it in. Valiant attempt by Baldwin to hold it in onto near sideline, and just couldn't do it. Miranda comes over to restart things for Pioneer. Under 3 minutes left to go. 2:50 left here in the third. Keene has it on her own side of midfield. Keene trying to get the rush going the other way, trying to move it over to Kate Solden. Brandemart has it there. Now Millman going to dispossess her. Millman moves it back as Pioneer on the restart. Kate Solden puts it, rocketed into the circle, trying to move that back over, but that was a whistle. 2 minutes, 20 seconds left to go here in the fourth. As Pioneer coming in, Pioneer has it, 4-0. Is that just wide? Pioneer. That's a good shot attempt there. Pioneer has the 4-0 lead. Comes all the way back out to the 16 for Victor. We're under 2 minutes to go here. Victor moves it ahead. That all the way back. Keene, lone deep defender back. Keene comes over onto the near sideline. Keene gets it ahead to Jimenez, or gets it ahead to Edwards, trying to move it to Jimenez on the near sideline. Jimenez now will start off on this near sideline. 1 minute, 30 seconds left to go. All the way back, grab, now tipped forward by Cranbrook. Millman trying to pull it away. Millman gets into the circle. Millman with a shot that knocked down. Alcey gets it all the way back out. 1 minute, 15 seconds left. Now Cranbrook trying to feed it ahead. Knocked down by Kate Solden. Kate Solden has that pulled away by Brandemar. Brandemar gets over midfield. 1 minute, 5 seconds left to go. Grabowski pulls that away. Grabowski heads over onto the far sideline. Feeds that down the far sideline. That goes out there. 50 seconds left to go here in the fourth. 4-0 Pioneer with the lead on a drizzly cold evening. Certainly feels like fall now. Over into the corner, racing down with it. Cranbrook has it, trying to work her way in. 30 seconds left to go. That is going to result in a corner.
Corner for Cranbrook.
Mackey has taken it a couple times. We'll see. 27 seconds left here in the fourth. As that is actually going to be Fearens on the insert.
Skylar Fearens will inbound.
And moves back, grab Victor over onto the far side, knocked down. Kinsey fires it over, and that goes out the far sideline. 15 seconds left to go. Other news, Red Wings score first versus the Kings. They've started off strong. We hope they continue that way. That goes out. 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 second. And that will do it. Pioneer wins 4-0 in their final regular season contest. They will be back in action 5:30 here at Hollway Field for the playoffs. We are looking forward to that. Before that, we will be back on air 5 o'clock tomorrow for the men's soccer playoffs live from Salinas. Pioneer will take on Skyline over at the men's soccer playoffs. So lots of action happening here as we are about to head deep into the playoffs. So for my camera person, Christina Wiseman, my name is Mark Wiseman. We are very, very grateful. Thank you for watching. Have a wonderful evening, and we will be back on air tomorrow. Thank you, and good night.